sure. This one has big implications in terms of thinking about the CCIW and who's ahead so far this season. Wheaton is tied for first place in the CCIW currently in the men's division at 3-0-1 for a total of 10 points. They're tied currently with North Park, who's also 3-0-1 with 10 points. North Central is in second position or third position, depending on how you look at it, with 8 points at 2-0-2, and Carthage just behind them in fourth place at 2-1-1 with 7 points. That's just to say that with a win today, Carthage could tie North Park on 10 points and also tie Wheaton, who are the co-leaders of the division. So a big one in terms of the overall CCIW standings. Carthage also has an upcoming game on Wednesday this week against North Park, so they're playing against the two leading teams in the division today and Wednesday. So this is a big week, needless to say, for the Carthage squad. So they'll be looking to try to get a win here on their home soil. So far they are 3-0 on the season. They have not yet lost here or even drawn a game here at Art Keller Field. They've been able to win every single time they've played here, so that certainly bodes well for today's matchup. It's also interesting today because we have the top 3 scorers in the CCIW all on the pitch at the same time. The leading scorer so far this season in the CCIW is Aiden Crowder, the Carthage senior, who has 14 goals, a remarkable 14 goals on the season already. He is the leading scorer in the division. And the second leading scorer in the division is from Wheaton. Bryce Anderson, number 13, has 11 goals on the season. Kyle Johnson, the number 7 for Wheaton, is the third leading scorer in the CCIW with 8. So numbers 1, 2, and 3 in the scoring leader for the conference are all on the pitch. Mickey Riley, the Carthage senior and midfielder, has 5 goals on the season, and he's actually 7th. So I guess if you looked at it that way, we also have 4 of the top 8 scorers in the division who are all going to be on the pitch today. So we're likely to see some goals here. In terms of coming into the game and where they're coming from and what they've done most recently, the history of these two teams going back to last year, they played October 15th of last season, and they played to a 1-1 draw. That was at Wheaton in suburban Chicago. In 2021, it was a win for Wheaton in overtime, 2-1. And in 2020, it was a 2-2 draw after 2 overtimes. So 2 draws and 1 overtime win for Wheaton in the last 3 matchups of these two teams. So they have been very close historically speaking. And as I mentioned, they are also very close in this year's overall standings. Wheaton standing at 3-0-1 in the conference, Carthage at 2-1-1, Carthage 7-3-2 overall, Wheaton 8-4-1. So very similar records. In terms of what they've done most recently, Wheaton is on a little bit of a winning streak. They are 4-0-1 in their last 5 games. They've won 4 out of the last 5 and drew the other one, including a draw at North Central, which is a very tough place to go and play, obviously. Carthage also went to North Central just last week, and they lost 7-2. So in that matchup against the same team, North Central, Wheaton got the draw 2-2, and Carthage lost 7-2, although I talked to Coach Lease a little bit, and he was pretty disappointed in the team's performance on that particular day. Thought it was a little bit of a blip and unusual in their season up till now. Carthage has, as I mentioned, lost their most recent game at North Central 7-2, but before that, they had gone 5-0-1 in their last 6 games, winning 3 and drawing 2. So they had not lost in 5 games prior to the most recent meeting at North Central. So hopefully that was just a little bit of a blip, and we're actually seeing a little bit of sun here. I'm not sure if it's showing up on the picture, but it's been a little bit of a terrible day here, especially for the women's game. The women's program took on Wheaton this afternoon as well in the 1 o'clock game. The final score of that one was 2-0 Wheaton with the win over the Carthage women's Firebirds in soccer. But we'll see if the men's is any different. These two teams battling for the top of the CCIW. They're just about lining up here with the referees, as you can see. We will have starting lineups from the PA announcer here at Art Keller Field. There won't be a national anthem because there was one prior to the women's game, and they're treated as one event. So we'll be right back here after we hear the starting lineups for the kickoff from Art Keller Field, which will see Carthage Firebirds taking on the Wheaton Thunder in men's soccer. We'll be back right after the lineups very shortly.
can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. Wait till I get my money right. Then you can't tell me nothing, right?
I'm serious, I got money.
I'm a late bloomer, third year on the scene. 20 racks don't feel like nothing to me. Came from the streets, it turned me to a beast. Invisible set diamonds hugging my piece. But me for a show, I need 80 at least. I want the smoke, ain't no keeping the peace. Keep me a razor when I'm in the east. Open them up just like a surgery. Everything burning around me on lit. Show a little attitude, swap out the... I spent 250, don't know where it went. My hood on my back, I gotta represent. Toronto, you useless, you don't got a pole. Warm that boy up, he got shot in the cold. 30 rounds in the clip, let it unload. I f***ed up, chop it right out of Vogue. Took 20 on my first vacay. I ain't picking up, I'm a Turk's little baby. Every other watch got diamonds in it.
Good afternoon, fans, and welcome to Art Keller Field for today's game between the Carthage Firebirds and the Wheaton Thunder. Let's meet today's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Thunder, number 3, Caden Yamada. Number 7, Kyle Johnson. Number 8, Timmy Jones. Number 9, Grant Ronnie. Number 12, Noah Penner. Number 13, Price Anderson. Number 18, Mason Louth. Number 20, John Hearn. Number 23, Natty Hamilton. Number 35, Sam Grodelusen. And number 32, Mason Escalante. The head coach of Wheaton is Steve McGrath, and he's assisted by Dylan McNett, Nick Davis, and Micah Adkins-Estes. And now, your starting lineup for the Carthage College Firebirds. Starting up, a freshman, number 10, Jethro Umunj. A freshman, number 12, Dominic Godolinsky. A junior, number 15, Christian Inistrosa. A senior, number 19, Nikki Riley. A senior, number 20, Nick Renfro. A senior, number 21, Aiden Croder. A senior, number 22, Colin Moran. A senior, number 23, Joe Ballas. A freshman, number 24, Samuel Riano. A senior, number 27, Omar Cordova. And lastly, a senior with the 00, Nick Washaleski. The head coach of Carthage is Paul Leese, and he's assisted by Colton Walker, Cale Brown, and Tyler Lewin.
right, so we're just about ready for some soccer here from Kenosha. The sun is coming out. It's looking like a beautiful afternoon for soccer. It is a very windy day, though. Even though the sun has come out, the rain has gone away. It rained a little bit in the earlier afternoon game, but now we have a clearing sky, but there is still quite a strong breeze, mostly coming from the north to the south. Wheaton, as you can see, is in the dark blue uniforms with the orange socks. They'll be moving from north to the south or from right to left on your screen. Carthage is in their white tops, red shorts, white socks, and they'll be moving from south to north against the wind here in the first half with the wind in the second half. Jet Umanj is lining it up for the center field, ready for the kickoff, and we're just about ready to go, and we are off here in Kenosha. Carthage lines up several players up on that right-hand side. Looks like they're trying to line something up. Joe Ballas comes to Jet Umanj. Mickey Riley picks that ball up at the edge of the box and takes a shot. Good shot there, but a little bit over the goal. Just from about 18 yards or so, Riley picked it up just on the corner of the box, made a couple of steps and took a shot that went sailing over the Wheaton goal. Wheaton, a little bit of a surprise on the top of the division so far. As I mentioned, they're tied with North Park. North Park, kind of a perennial power in the CCIW in terms of soccer. Their women's program in particular, very, very strong. But Wheaton is so far tied with them on this young season. A few changes that we're seeing in terms of the starting lineup for Carthage. Today, Nick Wasilewski gets a start in goalkeeper, the senior from Northbrook. He has played on and off. There's been a pretty even mixture, although Thomas Howard has played probably more minutes overall in goal so far this season. Aiden Crowder, though, as you can see, in the central striker position, where he's been all season long. As I mentioned, the leading scorer in the CCIW. He'll wear number 21 today for Carthage. Just behind him, it looks like they've got a twosome, maybe a threesome just behind him, including Jet Umanj, Samuel Riaño, and Mickey Riley. Riaño's playing kind of centrally. Riley's playing a little bit over on the right-hand side here. Hard to see if they're going to play into a midfield 3 or a midfield 2. Just kind of getting things worked out here as they have the ball or don't have the ball. Got a lot of experience at the back, though. Colin Moran comes in, the senior, at one of the center backs positions. Omar Cordova, of course, one of the other central center backs back there. He's also a very experienced player, so nice to have a lot of seniors at the back. Omar Cordova's a senior, Colin Moran's a senior, Joe Ballas is a senior. All three of those guys, along with Christian Inestrosa, who is a junior, playing over on the left-hand side. There he is on the ball. And so good experience at the back for Carthage. Nick Renfro again in the center of the pitch. He's the captain and a senior leader on the squad as well. I mentioned Riaño, the freshman, getting the start. Jet Umanj is a freshman as well. So those two freshmen getting the start in the middle of the pitch. One sort of change, Dominic Gadolinsky, the freshman, has gotten a start, number 12. He's playing in central midfield today. I have not seen a game in a couple of weeks as Carthage has been on the road primarily for the last few weeks, but that is a little bit of a change in terms of who's starting in the midfield. So it looks like he and Renfro are sort of at the base of midfield. Umanj, Riaño are sort of ahead of him. Looks like Riley and Crowder playing the furthest forward. Here's a kick from the back. Crowder goes for that. Riaño picks it up, though. Mickey Riley now on the near side, back to Riaño. Really nice interchange there. He's got a little room to move. He tries to cut it back to Crowder, but it does get intercepted there. Try to go long downfield. Cordova picks that up easily. Renfro back to Moran. He tries to find Crowder there. Crowder's got that size, so they oftentimes try to play it into him in the head. Aiden Crowder is 6'1". Aiden's a senior from Wilmette, New Trier High School. Umanj with a nice play there to Inestrosa. He tries to cross it, and it does go off of the defender for Wheaton, and it looks like that will be a corner. That went over the end line as opposed to the touch line. So looking like they're lining up a corner here. Quite a few players going into the box. Carthage takes it short there. Inostrosa and Umanj trying to work something. Umanj blasts it into the center, but it is stopped there by Wheaton. I mentioned there are two leading scorers. Price Anderson is number 13. Number 7, Kyle Johnson. They are the two furthest forward players for Wheaton, and they are goal scorers as well on the season. As I mentioned, Anderson with 11 goals so far, Kyle Johnson with 8 goals on the season as well. So those two are dangerous, certainly up front for Wheaton. It'll come to the Carthage defenders to see if they can stop that. It looks kind of right now like they're playing almost with a back three. There's a cross. Aiden Crowder's chasing, putting a little pressure on the defense. They are able to play that out of the back, though. Back there's Caden Yamada. He goes back to the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper is Mason Escalante. Escalante is a junior from Santa Cruz, California, who's played, I believe, every minute so far of Wheaton's season. They try to go long down this left-hand side. Joe Ballas is there. Omar Cordova is chasing that ball back, too. He gets to the end line, and it is a goal kick. So that did just go all the way over the line there. You notice the lines on the field as you see them on the screen. We are the yellow lines. Soccer plays the yellow lines, lacrosse plays the red, and football plays the white. So sometimes gets a little confusing for the players on the pitch, as well as I'm sure the viewers at home sometimes seeing those lines. There's Moran. Lost one over. Umanj. Really good effort to get that ball. He puts it forward. Crowder puts it past the keeper, centers it. And a good defensive play there. Good play by Carthage to get past the defense, but a good play by the defender to get that ball off the line. It was crossed there, and there was a Carthage player there. I think it was Mickey Riley who was coming onto the ball, but he wasn't able to get there before the Wheaton defender. So the first real opportunity of the game goes Carthage's way, and they'll have a corner kick as a result of that play that went out of bounds. Jet Umanj is over there to take that. Into the middle. It is stopped. Grant Roney knocks it upfield. Cordova is back at the back. He finds Gadolinsky. Riaño now. Nice move. Cuts towards the goal. Right to the byline. Crowder's there, and it was blocked. Nice block there by Caden Yamada, the defender for Wheaton. Renfro with a header. Riaño's been very active. So here's Jet Umanj again. Aiden Crowder picks it up, tries to turn, and does turn. Nice move, and a shot! And a shot again, and a goal!
A Carthage goal by number 10, Jethro Umanj, assisted by number 21, Aiden Crowder.
So Umanj from Crowder there. A goal for Jet Umanj. Really nicely done. Aiden Crowder made a nice move there to get around the defender. And Jet Umanj was right on the spot and able to put that goal away. So within the first 8 minutes of the game, Carthage already on the board. That bodes well for their afternoon. Hopefully they can continue and maintain that lead. So far, Carthage has scored on the season, has scored 2.83 goals per game. The opponents have scored 2.25 goals against Carthage so far. On the other side, Wheaton has scored 2 goals a game and has only given up 1.54 goals per game. So they've had a pretty stingy defense, so Carthage has to feel good about getting on the board this early in the game. An early goal for Carthage here. They have looked dangerous. Some good possession going forward, and they have it again. This time Riaño again on that right-hand side, causing some trouble. A nice, a really nice cross there. Christian Inestrosa, the left back, had come all the way in from the left-hand side. He snuck in front of his defender right at the last moment, but wasn't quite able to redirect that on goal. So another opportunity there for Carthage. Carthage already with 3 shots on the afternoon. They've really had all of the opportunities so far. Really showing some good pressing here. Tries to intercept it there, but it is knocked back. There's Timmy Jones over on that side, trying to move it up the pitch. Nice pass there. He finds Price Anderson. There's Anderson now on the ball. Anderson is a pretty tall player, it looks like. He's 6'4". That is tall. So he's got good height there. Carthage pretty tall at the back too, though. Joe Ballas is 6'2", Colin Moran 5'11", Omar Cordova 6 feet. So they'll give up a couple of inches maybe to Anderson, but so far it has not been an issue. Nice ball upfield. Mickey Riley now picks it up. He's got some space, tries to find Crowder with an early ball. Crowder gets behind the defense, turns it back. There's Riley. Oh, right at the goalkeeper. But a really nice interchange there between Crowder and Riley. Riley moving forward on this right-hand side. He's almost playing in kind of a, it's a little bit further back now. Riaño's playing a little bit further forward. Riley playing kind of as a right back at this point, actually. In fact, he's fully a right back at this moment. It's like he's playing as kind of a box-to-box right back in a way. There's the sun. It's come out with a little bit of a glare here on the field. Ooh, there's a foul there. Referee calls a push. And so that will be a free kick for Wheaton in a dangerous position. Looks like that's about maybe 20, 22, 23 yards away from the goal. About 5 yards outside of the box. Number 18, Mason Louth, is there, lining it up, along with number 12, Noah Penner. Louth will take it. Wasilewski bobbles it, but he does pull it down. So there's a first shot for Wheaton off that free kick from 25 yards, but a relatively easy save. It was hit very hard, but Wasilewski was able to pull it down and control it. Ballas with a nice move there through midfield, although he loses out. Now Carthage will have to hurry to get back. Oh, there's a push again. Another foul there. Kyle Johnson gets fouled, number 7, fouled by Umanj. This time they're a little bit further back, about 40 yards from the goal, so I'm assuming they probably won't try to go on goal with this shot. But they do line up several players on the edge of the box. Looks like they're going to put something into a dangerous area, but it does end up going harmlessly beyond the goal. So that'll be a goal kick for Carthage. And they take it short. Omar Cordova has it there right in front of the goal. Ballas is playing over here on the right-hand side. Looks like they are pretty much playing with a back three. Hinestrosa and Riley kind of playing more defensively when Wheaton has the ball and more offensively when Carthage has the ball. being asked to play 2 positions there. Riley had that last shot on goal, and now he's back covering on the left wing. So Wheaton trying to work it out from the back now, cycling it. Their keeper Mason Escalante comes into the center of the pitch. Now Price Anderson's going chasing after it down there, but it does elude him. He tried to kind of tip it around the corner and chase after it himself, but he tipped it a little bit too hard, and it ended up going over the end line on the south end of the pitch. Looks like Carthage is going to try to play out of the back, at least here in the first half. Moran goes long that time, trying to give one for Christian Nestrosa to chase, but it was out of bounds. And that'll be a Wheaton throw. Through the center now. There's an opportunity, but a nice save by Wasilewski. Kyle Johnson got between the 2 defenders and had an opening. He decided to take the shot pretty early. Wasilewski had to go down quickly in order to save that one. So just 30 minutes, at about the 30-minute mark, we're just about 15 minutes into the game, and Wasilewski has already been called upon to make a couple of saves here. 2 shots on goal so far for each side. Carthage was the 1 goal. There's Price Anderson. It bounces high. Wasilewski able to get it there. It looked like Anderson with that 6'4" frame was going to be able to maybe get that over the head of Wasilewski. Wasilewski is not nearly as tall. He's 6 feet, which is not short by any means. Taller than me, but 4 inches shorter than Price Anderson, you can see as a big, tall player. Ballas to Crowder, a little bit too hard for him to handle. Nice interception there. Dominic Gadolinsky. Now Jethro Umanji. Crowder's got those long strides, but he couldn't quite get that one. The first one, he was able to beat the goalkeeper, but this one, the keeper gets there first. Haven't seen the sun in about 3 days here on campus, so nice to see. Campus is pretty dead at the moment. We are on fall break here at Carthage. Just started today, and no classes on campus on Monday or Tuesday of this week, so most of the students, save for these dedicated student athletes, have gone home. And according to my students at least, are working on projects. We'll see. Wheaton now has possession on that far side. Trying to find a way through there, but Carthage is playing some stout defense. That'll be another Wheaton throw. Nice play there. Ariano gets to the ball first and clears it, but it does go out of bounds. Wheaton tried to break through the middle there, but it was picked up by Wasilewski, who will move it out here to the right-hand side. Joe Ballas, who's played a lot of minutes already this year. Trying to play it forward. Mickey Riley gets in the way. Riley picks it up again. Good battle for the ball there. Crowder finds Riley on this right-hand side. He's got a little bit of space. He crosses it all the way across. Nestrosa was there, but he just couldn't quite bring it down. It sort of came at his chest, but at a low level that he couldn't quite control it. So a really good look there A nice cross by Riley. Inestrosa in a good position, but it just didn't quite bounce the way it needed to in order to fashion an opportunity there for Carthage. Now Wheaton is coming back the other direction. That's way back in the corner. Grant Roney has it over there. He centers it. Mason Louth tries to fashion an opportunity, but it does end up going out of bounds, and that will be a goal kick. Wheaton is really backing off these goal kicks, and Carthage is playing them very, very short. Homer Cordova is just kind of walking that ball out. Joe Ballas, Colin Moran now. And Wheaton will switch fields of play, come out to this right-hand side. Ballas is there, right to Riley, nice header. Cordova to Moran, who has some space to move. Tries to loft it into the path of Crowder, but it was short. Ballas back to Cordova now. Not putting a lot of pressure on him there. They seem to want to hold their pressure off until a little bit higher up the pitch. Ballas now goes through. Riley trying to catch up there, and he does. It's left short, that pass. He's got it. He's open. He goes around the keeper and around the defender, and a shot is blocked at the back. Riley really had a good opportunity, and another shot and another save. What a sequence of events there. Caden Yamada slid across. Mickey Riley picked off that pass that was left for the goalkeeper, left him short. Riley picked up the pass, went around the keeper, around another defender. Yamada, though, made a recovery to go back and knock that off the line. And Riley was denied and then got the ball back and took a nice shot from the edge of the box and was denied by a really nice save by Mason Escalante. Here's a corner kick that was the result of that save. Jet Umanj, Christian Inestrosa was interchange. Another one over the top, Inestrosa. Riley's had a couple of nice crosses from this right-hand side and just denied a goal there when he had already gotten past the defense. It was really a great opportunity. Carthage has had several of those really good opportunities so far. They've been dominant so far in this game. The throw in, Riaño deep in the box. Back to Ballas, who will try to lift it across. Inestrosa is there. He heads it back in, but a little bit too far for Crowder. And all the way back. Cordova to Moran. Tries to find Inestrosa. Nick Renfro with a nice interception and recovery of the ball there. Renfro solid at the base of midfield, as always. So we're basically at the halfway mark now of the first half. Carthage 1, Wheaton 0. Carthage has had the lion's share of the opportunities. 6 shots, 4 shots on goal. Wheaton with just 2 shots so far. They did have one really clear-cut opportunity as well. Here's Riley. Cordova goes long, trying to find Crowder. Riaño, there's Umanj. He finds Inestrosa, or tries to find Inestrosa. It is blocked out there, though. Goes back into the center. Riaño picks it up again. Inestrosa now. Out of bounds. It'll be a Carthage throw on that far side. He takes that upfield. Moran with a good play to get in the way there. Riley now on this near side. Joe Ballas finds Gadolinsky. Back to Ballas, who takes it along the sideline, keeps it in bounds, and crosses it beautifully. And it goes out of bounds. But a nice play by Ballas to keep that ball in bounds and then to get that cross. He throws it into Riley. Nice move by Riley to get into the box. Right across the center. And it comes back out right to Riley again. He crosses it again. Umanj went up like he was going to kick that over his head, and Inestrosa was behind him and took the shot. Would have been spectacular if Umanj had got on that ball. But a couple of opportunities for Riley to cross there. Riley's really looking good today. Gotten some good opportunities already. Inestrosa cuts that off. Renfro now pulling it upfield. Riaño back to Renfro. Carthage moving the ball really well this afternoon. Would have liked to have at least one more goal from all these opportunities that they've had in the first half. They should be up at least 2-0, if not more. But the ball just has not gone in the net, except for the one time. Riley tries to find Crowder. There's a push there. That'll be a free kick to Wheaton. They take that back. Switch fields to the far side. Goes down the left flank. Nice play there. Omar Cordova with a sliding tackle. He's able to get the ball and knock it off of the Wheaton player. I think that was Kyle Johnson who was running after that, and Cordova timed the tackle perfectly and not only was able to stop his forward progress, but able to knock the ball off him for a goal kick. That is the textbook way to do it. Nice defensive play by Cordova. Omar is a senior from Round Lake Beach, Illinois. He went to Grays Lake North High School. Playing really well this year. Jet Umanj has it now on the left wing, cuts it back. Infield, Riaño picks it up in the box. He cuts it back and shoots. Oh, but right at the keeper. Another shot on goal. That's 5 shots on goal already from Carthage. Nice effort there by Inestrosa. Foul called on the far side. Referee seems like he's calling it pretty tight. Everything, any kind of contact, he's quick with the whistle. Trying to keep the temperature of this one down. It is still early in the game. Keeping a tight lid on it. So Wheaton will have a free kick about 40 yards out. Into the center, and Wasilewski is there. Wasilewski watches his team move upfield. Those wingers really high now. They're actually higher than this, well, not quite as high as Crowder, but both Riley and Inestrosa have gone way upfield. Here's Riley. Providing nice width for the team. That goes accidentally in center. Now Kyle Johnson has it now at the byline. He tries to cross it. Comes out. It's tipped and over the net. It's a shot there. I think maybe that was Timmy Jones who had that shot, if I'm not mistaken. but it came off the head of a Carthage player and ended up behind the goal, so that will be another corner kick. It was Wheaton's first corner of the game. Comes in. Inostrosa is there to head it away. Comes right back to the corner taker, who tries to cross it again, and it goes out of bounds, so that'll be another corner kick from that far corner. Mason Louth is out there to take that corner. See behind him, the flag is really whipping. Still very breezy out here, even though the sun has come out. At least we can see some sun. That's nice to see. Shot. Wasilewski's there. Wasilewski's been called into action a few times already so far in this first half, but he's been equal to the task. I think that was the third shot on goal, so he has 3 saves already and a couple of really nice ones. Crowder trying to marshal that ball at midfield. Renfro goes back to Ballas. Wide to Riley. Real nice pressure valve there to have Riley over on this right-hand side. A lot of the offense has come through Mickey Riley. He tries to find Crowder, and all Camden Caden Yamada can do is knock that ball out of bounds on this near side. Yamada's 6'4" also. He's a freshman from Redmond, Washington. Made 1 save already really today. Would have saved a... Could have been 2-0, but he made a real nice defensive play. Gadolinsky. Renfro. To Moran. To Inostrosa. That's a handball. Definitely got him on the hand there. So that'll be a free kick to Carthage. Inostrosa, Riley, Umanj all over it. Looks like Umanj is going to take it. Plays it short. Oh, tried to play a little 2-man game there with Inostrosa, but it ended up being a little bit too strong and goes out over the end line. Wheaton takes the free kick quickly. Goal kick. We're under 13 minutes here to play in the first half. Score being Carthage 1, Wheaton 0. Here comes Wheaton. Bryce Anderson plays it out to the right, but no one is there. Moran takes it quickly. Cordova goes upfield. Crowder with a nice take. Knocked away from him though. And knocked upfield by Wheaton over the end line. And we'll see some substitutions here. Looks like Aiden Crowder is going to get a break for Carthage. Number 11, Dennis Valle has come on in his place. Dennis is a freshman from Palatine, Illinois, Palatine High School. Ball's taken back by Wheaton. They go far side now. A little bit of space there. Gadolinsky, though, Finds Umanj, who finds Valle. Just in the game. Oh, tried to cut it back, but couldn't quite make the cut. Almost had a opportunity on his first touch there. Nistrosa now. Renfro with a nice play to Ballas. Tries to go up to find Valle. Trying to marshal that out, and effectively done there by Sam Grodelushin. Grodelushin is a sophomore from Colorado Springs. The left back. And here he is with the ball again. Centrally. Gadolinsky, though, is fouled. Dominic Gadolinsky is a freshman from Pingree Grove, Illinois. Getting a start today and getting lots of quality minutes here in the first half. Just 10 minutes to play here in the first half. Carthage having the best of it statistically as well as on the scoreboard. They've got 8 shots with 6 on goal. Wheaton with 4 shots on goal. So another one into the center, but headed a little bit over there. Not sure if that was Valle or Riaño who got a hold of that one. Wheaton working it upfield. Riley intercepts, though. Renfro Gadolinsky. There's a foul. Got a free kick to Carthage. A little bit darker clouds rolling in here. There's some strips of blue you can see, but it is getting a little darker. I think it's about 55 degrees or so at game time, so not a particularly cold day, it's just a little bit gray and windy in particular. There's a foul. Okay, so Carthage Hinestrosa with some good effort there just outside the box leads to a foul and a free kick. In a really good position here, I think. Just 20 yards outside the goal. Fairly central as well. Referee will line up the wall for Wheaton. Seems like this could be an opportunity for a shot. It's in a very good position. Carthage players are talking it over. Riley is there. He's going to take it. And he blasts it over the net. Goes all the way into the parking lot. So he went for power there, but it didn't quite come off. A little bit of a wasted opportunity, maybe. Like to get a shot on goal from there, but he was going for power and just got a little underneath it. There's Riley with a nice block. Finds Umanj. Riley's been very active in this first half, really showing a lot of effort and a lot of result for that effort. Not gotten on the score sheet yet, but he's been all around the ball all day long. Crossing, shooting, defending, kind of doing it all. Wheaton just hasn't really found a way forward. Carthage is so strong in the midfield. Now they have a little opportunity here down the right-hand side. Grant Roney looked like he had some space to run there, but it did go slightly beyond him and out of bounds. So that will be a throw-in for Carthage. It looked like they might have an opportunity to find some space in the Carthage end. They've got those 4 shots on goal. Comes into the midfield now. field. The wind kind of picks it up and stops its progression. The battle for the ball there. Wheaton comes up on top. Hinostroza sneaks in there to get that ball, though. Umanj. Riano is tripped. So there's another foul. Coming up on the 5-minute mark. We've just had the one substitution from Carthage so far in this half. The coach really sticking with his starters for the most part. Crowder came out and Valle came on. Cordova now trying to find a way through into the pile. Cordova again knocks it upfield. Moran, Hinostroza goes flying after it. Ooh, Gadolinsky got underneath of his counterpart there. I think that was just accidental. That was Harrison Lee who went down, but he got right back up. Seems to be just fine. And Wheaton will have a free kick right at midfield. Just under 5 minutes to play here in the first half. Skies are getting darker. The lights have been turned on here at our Keller field. Ball goes out of bounds, but it will be a Carthage throw. With some good effort there. Trying to get past his defender. Pops up there and knocked out of bounds. Smart play by Renfro just to make sure it doesn't bounce towards the Carthage goal. Couple more substitutions on the Wheaton side. But Coach Lease is standing firm with his starters. They have played well. I suppose if it ain't broke. Hinostroza with a header. It's a shot from distance, doesn't get through the crowd. Hinostroza goes upfield. Valle tries to position his body to pick that up, but can't. Colin Moran with a good heads-up play. Real pressure there from Valle. That'll be a Wheaton throw. There's a cross. The Wasilewski is there. Well, they haven't had anything particularly threatening. They had the one kind of breakaway opportunity. That was Kyle Johnson who had that in the first half. Took a shot from quite a ways out, trying to beat the keeper kind of early on that breakaway. Wasilewski got down effectively and has stopped everything sent his direction so far. Battle for the ball here. Cordova finds Valle, but it's knocked back. Valle with a nice sliding tackle. Ball goes out of bounds. Wheaton with a throw. Comes across. Nice diving effort by Jet Umanj. I think he went last off of him. So it's just 1:15 left to go. It'll be a corner kick. I believe this is the third corner.
1 minute remaining.
1 minute as you heard the PA announcer announce. Carthage looking to defend this one. Brianna with a header out, a shot back in. No infraction there. Mickey Riley's got it now with some room to roam. Ooh, and he's tripped there. And that'll be a card. Yellow card. Number 10, I think that's Caleb Davis. Davis with the with the yellow card. Riley had a little bit of a run there on goal potentially, even though he's just inside of his opponent's half. Ballas plays it centrally to Cordova. Try to go far side. Nestrosa to Riaño. And that'll be a corner kick. They just got 20 seconds here to try to get this corner kick off. They're moving a lot of players into the box. Nestrosa with a quick corner and a shot. Oh, very, very close.
10, 9, 8,
Colin Moran.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Here's another
2,
shot at it.
1.
And that's an exciting end to the first half. A couple of corners there at the end. Carthage with a couple of good opportunities. And so far here in Kenosha, Wisconsin at Art Keller Field, our score at halftime is Carthage 1 and the Wheaton Thunder 0. We'll be back after this short halftime break. And we're back from halftime here at Art Keller Field in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Today's contest sees the Wheaton Thunder in town to take on the Carthage Firebirds. The women played earlier this afternoon and the men are playing here in the nightcap. There you see some of the statistics on the screen. Carthage ahead, of course, with the 1 goal scored, but in terms of shots, you can also see the dominance of Carthage with 11 shots overall, 7 of those shots on goal, and the 1 goal. Wheaton with the 4 shots with 4 on goals. You can see Carthage also with the lead in corners, 5-3. And the lead for Wheaton in saves, 6-4. The possession statistics have also come back after halftime, and so far in the game, Carthage is also dominating there. They've got 59% of the possession for 41% for Wheaton. So 60-40 roughly the split there in terms of possession. Carthage with about 60%. And also in terms of where that possession is, Carthage has much more possession in the Wheaton half. They have 63% of their possession that has been in the attacking zone. So they've had the ball quite a bit and a lot of opportunities. Really some good saves, both from the keeper from Wheaton as well as a couple of defenders with some last-ditch, last-minute saves that kept Wheaton in this game, frankly. With Carthage only having that 1-0 lead, it is very, very close. The lead in terms of the CCIW is on the line here today as well. As I mentioned at the outset of the broadcast, you probably saw in the halftime statistics, Wheaton is currently tied with North Central, with North Park for the lead in the CCIW so far this season with 10 points at 3-0-1. Carthage has 7 points with 2-1-1. So if Carthage could win this today, if the score at halftime holds, that would put them at 3-1-1. North Park, Wheaton would also be 3-1-1, so the two teams would be tied for the lead in the CCIW with 10 points. It's also a big week for Carthage as North Park comes in on Wednesday night. There, as I mentioned, are the other team that's tied for the lead. So Carthage taking on both Wheaton and North Park basically in this 4-day span. A very important week for Carthage. If they could beat both these teams today, if they could win, they'd be in a tie for the lead for the CCIW, and if they could win against North Park, that would certainly put them in pole position in terms of the conference, notwithstanding what North Central may do. They still may have something to say about that. But in terms of overall shots, as I mentioned, a big lead for Carthage. They've been able defensively really to corral the leading scorers for the team. Bryce Anderson hasn't really had much of an opportunity at all, hasn't had a single shot on goal so far. He's already got 11 goals on the season, but Carthage has really been able to keep him quiet. and that's been part of the reason they've lead. Kyle Johnson did have the one best opportunity for Wheaton. That was kind of a breakaway that happened about halfway through the first half or so. But Carthage goalkeeper Nick Wasilewski was able to make that save and keep Carthage in that lead. The goal in the first half, as I mentioned, was scored by Jethro Umanj. Jethro's 5th goal of the season. That was at the 7:51 mark. So in the first 8 minutes of the game, Carthage got that goal. The assist on that goal went to Aiden Crowder. Aiden, as I mentioned, is the top scorer in the division in CCIW this season. That was just his 2nd assist of the season, but he has those 2 assists to go along with 14 goals. Mickey Riley, one of the other really top performers in that half. Mickey had several opportunities there in that first half, but was just unlucky that some real strong saves were made on behalf of Wheaton to keep them in this game. So we're just about to kick off here for the second half. And there's the whistle and the kickoff. Wheaton will start. Wheaton now moving from left to right on your screen in the blue, moving from south to north. They'll be against the wind this half. Carthage will be with the wind that's coming from the north. They're moving from right to left on your screen in the white jerseys, white socks, and the Carthage red shorts. It looks like Coach Lease has gone primarily back to his starting lineup. Aiden Crowder was the only player that was substituted in the first half. Dennis Valle came on for a few minutes there. I guess 11 minutes. Other than that, Crowder played the lion's share, 34 minutes of that first half. So that was the only substitution. Kind of an interesting substitution pattern from Coach Lease. Just the one substitution, and now he's gone back to that starting lineup. But it was playing well, it was working well, and if it's working well, I suppose there's no reason to tinker with that lineup. Be interesting to see, though, if he wants to get some fresh legs in here, possibly during the second half. Omar Cordova there with the header. He made a couple of really nice defensive plays. Kirsten Inestrosa here on the ball. He's fouled, or maybe Jet Umanj was fouled, in fact. Christian Inestrosa has a really good game, too. Riley, Inestrosa have really been the standouts. Umanj with the goal, too. He's been very, very strong today. Good offensively, good defensively. Carthage looking good in the main. Now they've got this little 3-man setup again. Mickey Riley behind the ball, Jet Umanj and Samuel Riaño on the 2 positions facing him. Riley goes to Inestrosa in the corner. Nice cross and a header. Oh, and it's in front. Oh, a beautiful header on that far side. That was Colin Moran, the defender, who was in there and had a diving header that was saved, but really a good effort there and another opportunity for Carthage. They've had so many of them in this game, but they just have not buried a lot of them. And hence, Wheaton is still in this one. Otherwise, Carthage would be out of sight. They've had so many opportunities and just haven't quite been able to put another one over the line. That second goal is a big one. Always a hard one to get, usually. Riley defensively able to steer that ball out of bounds. Early substitution here for Wheaton. Number 10, Caleb Davis, goes off. He had the yellow card, the only yellow card of the game in the first half. Number 19, Cademan Gross has come on. Up this left-hand side, Inestrosa chasing it, but even he's not fast enough for that one. That'll go out of bounds and be a Wheaton throw. Wheaton trying to find something going through the center of the park now. Go far side. And all the way back to their keeper. That's Mason Escalante. Carthage putting on some pressure here. Nicely done. Centering pass, but it is cleared. Kept in, though, on the far side. I think that's Dominic Gadolinsky. Ballas to Riano, who makes a nice move, skips through a couple of players, still has the ball, takes a shot left-footed, and that is saved. Made a nice play there to get past a couple of defenders and get that shot off. But that'll be a Carthage throw on the far side. Joe Ballas is lining it up. Takes it long into the box. Shot from distance, but there was a player in the way. That was Nick Renfro who got behind that one. Renfro is one of the scorers for Carthage. He only has one goal so far on the season. A few players with more than one. Samuel Riano has 2. Umanj with his 5th today. Riley has 5 and Crowder has 14 so far on the season. Having a hard time keeping those corner flags standing today. A very stiff breeze. You can see the trees back there in the background whipping around a bit. It is a breezy one. Tough to take goal kicks from that end. He only gets about 30 yards on that goal kick. Inestrosa with a corner, and it goes into the keeper's arms. Moran goes right around him. Nice play defensively. Inestrosa with a nice little flip over the defender. He's really got a good skill set, Inestrosa. Really great skills on the ball, great speed, great positional sense. Very, very strong player. It's Bryce Anderson now. A little bit of a battle there. Oh, there's a foul. And that'll be a yellow card on Carthage, their first yellow card of the afternoon. Joe Ballas will pick that up. Joe's a senior from Bolingbrook, Illinois. Wheaton takes the free kick. Bryce Anderson is there, and he gets a goal. It was a goal. Looked like it might have been offside, but no offside called, so there's a goal for Wheaton.
And a Wheaton goal by number 13, Bryce Anderson.
So Bryce Anderson with a goal for Wheaton evens it up. As I mentioned, Anderson is the second leading scorer in the division. That's his 12th goal of the season. Getting closer to Aiden Crowder, who has 14. So a 12th goal of the season for Anderson Price. Or Price Anderson, sorry. And it is 1-1. So evened up here. Wheaton had not had many opportunities, but they got one there and a free kick off the yellow card there. Shot from long distance. A bit of a cheeky shot there, but keeper was alert to it. So there was that yellow card and the free kick, and on the resulting free kick, it was Bryce Anderson who got in behind the defense, and Wasilewski wasn't able to get in front of that ball. So kind of out of nowhere, just their first shot of the second half and their 5th overall. Bit of a collision there, but that'll be Wheaton ball. Throw in there. Inestrosa to Umanj. Tries to go across field. It's blocked. Bala steps up nicely. Gadolinsky now. He finds Crowder in a full speed run. Crowder now going around the defense. Back to Inestrosa. Jet is there, but it ends up coming off of him and going behind the goal for a goal kick. So Carthage loses their lead. Bryce Anderson with a goal. That was at the 51-40 mark. To tie it up. So Carthage scored in the 8th minute. Wheaton scored in the 52nd to even it. So a lot to play here yet. The foul is right at the center circle. Be another free kick for Wheaton, so they take quickly. That'll be a Carthage throw. Inestrosa looking upfield. Here comes Carthage the other way. Mickey Riley. Nice little chip over the top there by Aiden Crowder into the corner, but it just had a little bit too much momentum on it and goes out of bounds on the far side. Wheaton will have a throw coming back. They're just throwing quite a few men forward, so they are a little bit maybe vulnerable at the back potentially. Playing primarily with 3 defenders. Cordova, Ballas, Moran. Inestrosa and Riley are kind of wing backs in this formation, it looks like. They do have some defensive responsibilities, but generally speaking, it's those 3 big defenders who are responsible at the back. Riley, Renfro to Jet. Briagna tries to turn, but there's someone in his way. Good play there, good turnover. Crowder goes out to Inestrosa, who went towards goal. I'm not sure if it was a cross or a shot. It ended up kind of being a shot. And it was saved. Joe Ballas gets in front of that ball. Bryce Anderson now the goal scorer. Nice ball over the top. And now Wheaton comes back and threatened. They're in the 16-yard box. Across. Oh, and an own goal there for Carthage. Unfortunate.
And a Wheaton goal by number 19, Cademan Gross.
So Cademan Gross gets credited with the goal there, although really what came off of Colin Moran, I think, in the end. So an unfortunate turn of events there finds Carthage now down 2-1. collision down there. No call. Carthage has to be frustrated. They were up 1-0 and now they're down 2-1 already here. Just 12 minutes, 13 minutes into the second half. They've given up 2 goals here early. Now, coach was disappointed in the last game that they kind of fell apart a little bit in the second half, so we'll be looking to rebound from these 2 early goals. Little ball inside there. Wasilewski comes sliding out, but it was an offside call. That last goal was at 56-51, so 5 minutes almost exactly between those 2 goals. The first goal at 51-40 and the second goal at 56-51. Cademan Gross from Harrison Lee. So the game really changed the complexion quickly. Carthage was up at the half, and now they find themselves down a goal and having to fight back here at home. Riley tries to find Crowder, but it is knocked out of bounds on the far side with authority. And we're coming up on the 30-minute mark remaining. But I'm sure there'll be at least one more goal in this game, right? Hopefully Carthage can get one here. Doesn't seem like a game where there wouldn't be yet another goal in it. Try to go cross field, but it's intercepted. And offside. Carthage playing a nice high line there. There were 2 players for Wheaton that were in an offside position but had a free break on goal. That was Harrison Lee who picked that ball up. He had the assist earlier on. Got a short injury timeout here. One of the Wheaton players limping off, getting some attention. Referee stopped the clock for that injury. It'll be a substitution. Carthage getting together to kind of talk over some strategy here during the little break. And we're back underway. Riley goes all the way back to Cordova. Comes Moran. Inestrosa. Crowder couldn't quite touch it around the corner there. It's onside here. Harrison Lee. Joe Ballas with an important interception. Bryce Anderson was just behind him there in a good goal-scoring position. So Carthage just can't quite find that final pass here. A little bit of a tussle there. Refs discussing it here, trying to figure out the right call. That will be a free kick to Carthage. A little bit of a question there about which way that foul was called. Carthage has a number of players at the edge of the box here, Inestrosa and Cordova. He goes into the box, Crowder heads it, and it goes over the net, or at least to the side of the net. Carthage looking to fashion an opportunity here somehow. Wheaton putting together a couple of passes. Nice defensive play there by Ballas. Goes upfield all the way to the Wheaton keeper. Nice play by Cordova there. Renfro trying to find Riley. It's intercepted. Riley comes back on the ball though and gets it. Cordova to Renfro to Ballas. All the way back to Wasilewski. And he switches play to this left side, this near side. Nice move. Got held up a little bit, but it gets past it. Oh, and a little bit. Inestrosa leaves his pass a little short. Into the center. Ballas has to be careful with that one. His pass finds Bryce Anderson. Ballas recovers though. Inestrosa. Oh, and a real nice little tip there by Crowder, but Umanj couldn't quite pick it up. Kept in on that far side. Carthage looks like they're taking a few chances. They're throwing more people forward now, trying to get that second goal, that equalizer. Just 25 minutes to go here. Good tackle by Cordova, but he loses the ball. Ballas to Inestrosa. He finds Crowder. Jet Umanj. Ooh. A little bit of a 50-50 ball there with the keeper. Keeper does get a hold of it though. Umanj was closing quickly. That ball went out of bounds on the far side. So that'll be a throw in, I should say. Ballas comes all the way across to take that. Throws it downfield. Crowder play with his back to goal now. Gadolinsky comes over to Moran. Inestrosa with a nice move. Gets that ball back. And that's a goal kick. Good hustle there, but just wasn't able to get on the ball. Nice play right there, Ballas. Mickey Riley picks up the crumbs. And that goes out for a goal kick. Good hustle by Riley there, just wasn't able to control it. Wheaton takes it quickly. They're wasting no time getting started again. All the way downfield and out of bounds. Ellis will throw it. Try to go cross field there, so it's a little bit too far for Moran to pick up. Be a throw for Wheaton. Into the box, in front, and a goal. Goal for Wheaton.
A Wheaton goal by number 13, Price Anderson.
So a little bit of a mistake at the back there, and another goal for Wheaton. Another goal for Price Anderson. Anderson came in with 11 goals, and he now has 13. He's getting closer and closer to Aiden Crowder's conference-leading 14. 2 goals for Price Anderson here, and 3-1 to Wheaton. Carthage just had a few little lapses at the back, and every time they have, they've gotten punished. That one was at the 67-27 mark. That was Price Anderson from Kyle Johnson. Kyle Johnson had the assist there. Here's a corner kick for Carthage to see if they can get something back right away. There's that corner. Katalinsky now. Trev Molitor has come in the game, number 7. Molitor usually plays on that left wing. Came in for Aiden Crowder. Jet Umanj has a shot in front. Another shot blocked. Up to the outside, Mickey Riley now into the box. Nice cross, and in front, and a goal!
And a Carthage goal by number 3, Mason McCaw.
So Mason McCaw comes into the game as a substitute and scores very quickly thereafter. Some good pressure from Carthage and a good response at the 68-32 mark. Just 1 minute after the third goal from Wheaton, Carthage scores their second goal. Mason McCaw with the goal there. McCaw is a senior from Oswego, Illinois. And this is his second goal of the season. Paper is starting to blow around a little bit here. And there is a free kick now on the edge of the box. Really some fast and furious action here. Now, got about 21 minutes, as you can see, left to play in this one. Should be a heck of an ending. 3-2, with just 1-0 at halftime, and we've already had 4 goals here in this second half. And we're only halfway through. Could be a wild finish here. The free kick. Wasilewski's there. Nicely done. That was the 8th shot on goal, I believe, for Wheaton. Carthage has 9, so they do have more shots. Jet Umanj gets it at that end line. The cross into a dangerous area, but is knocked out. Carthage has to be a little bit careful here not to get too many men forward. Here comes Price Sanderson. He's big and strong and fast, all three. Foul there. Free kick to Wheaton. Up high, Wasilewski is able to save it right at the edge of his 18-yard box. He goes short to Cordova. They'll try to play it out from the back here. Ballas playing over on the right-hand side. Looks like Riley's gotten a break. I think Jack Georgie has come on. Mason McCall with a nice touch there. Trevor Molitor going up this left-hand side. He's got good speed and a good cross with that left foot. Emmett Hansen came in. Looks like a long throw being set up here. Omar Cordova's taking it. I'm sorry, it was McCaw that took that long throw. He tries to knock one into the box there, but it does end up in the hands of Wheaton keeper Mason Escalante. Trying to go upfield. Price Anderson was on the ball there, but deemed to have fouled the Carthage defender. I think that was Cordova that was back there with him. And a free kick to Carthage. So about 17 and a half left to play here. Carthage needing one more goal to tie it, two more to win it. That ball goes out of bounds. Carthage a little run here. McCaw can't quite get to it, but it'll be a Carthage throw down there. Looks like Aiden Crowder's coming back on. Samuel Riaño goes off, so McCaw, the goal scorer, will stay on in one of those frontline positions, and Aiden Crowder, the leading scorer, comes back into the game. Could sure use one from him here to tie this one up in the final 16 minutes. Long throw. Nicely done. A little push there. McCaw. Been very active since he came in. Got the goal and has been around the ball quite a bit. Trying to go forward here. Nice play by Carthage. Umange. Trying to find Crowder. He did find him. Oh, just beyond that post. Crowder got to that ball and was able to chip it there and just went beyond the far post. Really, really close. Didn't look like he had much of an angle there, but then he was able to get it all the way across the front of the goal, but not quite far enough. Looks like Omar Cordova is going off here. Quinn Roth is coming on. Another defender. Ballas will control that one. Back to Wasilewski. Well handled back there. Under 15. Harmlessly into the arms of Wasilewski. And Joe Ballas brings it upfield. Trying to find a way to get a couple more chances here if they can. Jack Georgie gets on that ball, finds Crowder. Back to Georgie. Tries to cut across there. Renfro picks it up, cleans it up. Ballas finds Umanj. Central, Renfro. Ballas now, he'll try to move it upfield. He goes to Moran. Moran goes wide now to Molitor. Molitor finds Crowder. Centers it. Oh, a diving stop. Mason McCall was arriving on the scene. He was just a step or two too late. Jet Umanj, though, with a nice recovery of the ball and a nice turn and a nice move to get through his defender. Both defenders, and crosses it. Really good effort there by Jet. That'll be a corner kick for Carthage. Their 7th of the game. Looks like Trevor Molitor's lining it up. He's got that great left-footed cross. Seen that quite a few times this season. Nice ball. Headed out. Colin Moran watches that ball go out. That'll be a corner from the other side now. I think Jet's going to go across to take that one. Takes it short. Jet goes central. Now they're on the break. Here comes Wheaton. Good recovery by Ballas, but Wheaton still has it and still moving towards the goal. No foul called. Could have been a penalty that was real dangerous. Wheaton now has it in front. But it's picked up by Carthage, moving upfield. Molitor picks it up in stride. He tries to find Crowder, but it's a little too heavy. 11 minutes now to play. Carthage trying to fashion one more chance here, at least to get the draw. McCaw. Bryce Anderson plays it upfield and he's offside. Very close one again. Kyle Johnson, though, just a couple of steps offside. Quick call from the assistant referee. He was right on top of it. And Carthage just has 10 minutes now. Playing with some urgency. McCaw tries to go down into the corner, but that is picked up. Major substitution here for Carthage. Inestrosa comes back on. Riaño comes back on. Cordova comes back on. It looks like Moran, Georgie, and Molitor go off. And it ends up at the back. Inestrosa, nice move there. Very crafty. Cordova now looks upfield. Tipped around the defense there, or over the defense by Crowder, but he's not able to track it down. Keeper is waiting, taking as much time as possible before picking that ball up, which is a good strategy given their 1-goal lead. Ball is not very well passed there. And here's Nick Renfro, who's back in. McCaw now finds Jet Umanj over there. Goes straight up to Crowder. Crowder turns and shoots. Goes out of bounds, but up for a throw rather than a corner. Got off a shot, but it did go off the defender pretty rapidly there and trickled off to the corner. Long throw here from McCaw. It's into the box, but not quite far enough. Inestrosa pulls it down on this side. Cordova has it now right in the center circle. Ballas. Jet tips it. Riaño trying to pick it up. There's a foul there. Be a free kick to Wheaton. Under 7 minutes. Carthage needs something here. 3-2 is our score. Wheaton with 3 goals here in the second half. Carthage has had 1 in each half. That's white ball. Takes it back to Cordova. Inestrosa goes crossfield. Ballas picks it up nicely. Tries to go crossfield, but it's a little bit of a miss kick. Renfro hits Crowder. He's pulled back. That's a foul. And a yellow card. Crowder had gotten around his defender, and defender in desperation reached out and grabbed him. So that's the second yellow card. Oh, and a bit of a missed opportunity there. free kick is blown right over the net. It's tough with that much wind behind you, I think, to keep the ball down, but it would have been nice to get something in there where they could have had an opportunity to get a knockdown or a rebound of some kind. Looks like a foul was called there, so that'll be a free kick for Wheaton. Under 5 minutes to play. A shot from distance. Wasilewski with the save. That keeps Carthage alive. Out to the right-hand side there. Umanj finds Renfro. Uh-oh. Ballas is there. There's a foul. Carthage is living dangerously at the moment. Ballas steps up. He's had a real good game. Offside there. So not much time here left in this afternoon's game. Carthage trying to get one more opportunity here. Trying to find some way to get in there, get an opportunity. Jet goes back to Gadolinsky. He goes near side trying to find Inestrosa. Renfro steps up. Umanj steps up. Gets his own miss. Gadolinsky with a desperate tackle brings it back. It's knocked up field. Bounces around there. That's a close one. Riano out here to Inestrosa. He finds Crowder. Oh, but offside. So close. Just a stride offside, I would say. Very close one. Wheaton taking their time now, trying to milk the clock here. Big header by Ballas. He's fouled. That'll be a free kick. Ballas gets it back. Switches fields. Quinn Roth. Wheaton tries to play it upfield. Jet is back playing some defense though. 1:35 to go. There is a bit of a hurry here. Wasilewski looking upfield. McCaw tries to get a head on it, but he's not able to find another teammate. Nice place there. Ball in. Crowder now. Plays it out to Inestrosa. Back to Crowder. Back to Inestrosa. Cross and a header. It's in front. 1 minute remaining. You hear it on the PA. Inestrosa trying to get through there somehow. It's Carthage ball. Cross. Really went for an overhead kick there. Umanj trying to cross it, can't get it in. Now another cross into the center, the header, and a save from the Wheaton keeper. Mason Escalante has been where he's needed to be for the most part today. We're down to the last 20 seconds or so. Not sure Carthage will be able to get it up field for one more opportunity. They do have a throw in here. Maybe they'll get one last shot. 10 seconds, Jet.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And that is the game for today. So a disappointing one for Carthage. As you hear there, the final score, Wheaton 3, Carthage 2. That'll leave Carthage at 2-2-1 in conference. And Wheaton will be 4-0-1 in conference. So Carthage will not be able to overtake that first place spot. But they'll be back at it again later this week. They have 3 games coming up. Wednesday night, they'll be taking on North Park University at 7 p.m. right here at Art Keller Field. Then on Saturday, they'll be taking on Milliken here again at Art Keller Field. And their final game of the season will be away at Elmhurst. So just 3 more chances to see these Firebirds in action this season. Next one will be Wednesday night here at home against North Park University at 7 p.m. So come on down and see this great team. And we will be on the air again on Wednesday. So for John Voinovich, our producer, and for all the students who are helping us out here on the cameras and in the replay booth, who are working hard for 2 games today, very well done for everybody. I'm John Bruning, signing off here from Art Keller Field. The final score, Wheaton 3, Carthage 2. This has been Carthage College Men's Soccer.